Hey guys, it's Brad. Welcome to the Wealth Motivation channel. And guess what? Today's topic is gonna rock your world. Anyway, anyway, if you could hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, all that other fun stuff, that'd be great. Anyway, I know I'm still here, and I'm still pretty new to YouTube. I've only been on here for less than a year. Anyway, main point. This video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why I decided to become an entrepreneur, why I decided to start a YouTube channel, a blog, trying to figure out how to do Amazon FBA, why I look at so many other people such as Kevin David, Graham Stephan, and all these other guys that make a significant amount of money on YouTube and other investments as well. And guess what? I'm going to talk to you about that today. And so, what I have to say is, I grew up with a bunch of parents. Like my dad, he tried to be the entrepreneurial type, and sadly he gave up on that. He had some great ideas, but, let's just say my parents, they didn't see eye to eye on the entrepreneurial path. They didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. They didn't see the potential golden goose that could be a company being started, or doing licensing deals or whatever it might be. And so I think I was in 8th grade. I actually had an entrepreneur come talk to my class, and he had started things like the Bug Zapper and several other things, and he had done quite well with it. And I was like, don't have a boss, you get to do what you want to do, and you make good money. Sign me up. But then everyone was like, oh, Brad, you're not the business type. You're not good with numbers. You're not good with money, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm in 8th grade. Isn't this called learning? Like, you can't be perfect coming out of the womb and, progressing on through your teenage years. So anyway, I was like, okay, how else can I get rich? So I started looking at all the people in my church and stuff like that. And a lot of the rich people were doctors. So I was like, okay, I become a doctor. Well, what kind of doctor makes the most money? Okay, I become a surgeon. All the other fun stuff. But then so I went on the natural path all throughout high school, saying I'm going to become, an orthopedic surgeon or a neurosurgeon. And then going my freshman year of college, it was actually quite overwhelming. I was like super stressed out. I was losing my mind with science classes, math classes, and all this other stuff. And I'm like, if this is what the next 8 years plus of my life are going to be like, and that's just college and medical school. That's not including your internship, your residency, and then your specialty. I was just like, screw this. Sorry for my French. But anyway, so I started doing that, and I was just like, okay, I guess I'm going to... and so I dabbled in a bunch of different things, and I, had some business professors I talked to, and, I was really searching for, like, how can I become very well off and then still be able to do what I want to do. Because I'm a major outdoorsman. I love the outdoors. I love hunting. I love fishing. I love all of that. And so I was just like, how can I get to the point where I'm doing that 365 days a year? Entrepreneurial stuff. So my senior year of college, I took a bunch of business classes like finance, accounting, entrepreneurship. I took as many business classes as I could fit in during that year. And it just opened my eyes. I was just like, there's so many different kinds of companies you can open. And so I started looking at it, and I decided to try and start my own athletics clothing line company. I decided to try and open my own athletics clothing line company and do it online, but I couldn't get financing and a bunch of other stuff. So that fell to the back burner. And so then I was just like, okay, I was listening to a lot of Grant Cardone, Dave Ramsey, a little bit of Graham Stefan, and some other people at the time. I was just listening to them, and I was just like, a 9-to-5 job isn't that bad. And then I got out of college and started doing multiple 9-to-5 jobs, and I was just like, this sucks. I mean, I absolutely hate this. Like, why in the hell did I sign up for this? Because I couldn't go hunting. Most of my bosses didn't care that I wanted to, take a day off. And they didn't care. They didn't like me taking a day off. One guy, he hated it when I said, hey, I need a day off to go hunting. And he just absolutely lost his mind. He's just like, no, you need to be baptized and immersed in this company and that and that. And it was just like, and he made my life an absolute living hell. And so I got very little time to do what I wanted to do during the summer, because I was working all the time. I was literally working 6 days a week and only taking one day off, because I grew up in a very religious family, and they're like, you gotta take the Sabbath off and all that other fun stuff. And me, I'm just like, I'm beating myself to death, I'm doing all this, and it's just like, I'm seeing no reward in the end. And so, like, this one guy I worked for, he said, oh, I'll teach you sales, because it was after a failed sales job. Like I said, when I first started this channel, I'd be very open and honest with you. I failed at the sales job miserably. I tried to become a car salesman, failed at it miserably. I thought I could sell because I love the product and all this other fun stuff. I'm not going to say, the dealership or anything, because that'd just be plain rude. But this guy's like, hey, I'm going to teach you sales. So I started selling supplements for this guy, and I was just like, pretty good at it. Like, he wanted you to sell at least 2 supplements per person, and my average was at least 3. Like, sometimes I'd sell 4 or 5 supplements to a person, and I got pretty good at it. But anyway, and he was a bodybuilder, and he would critique me all the time. He's like, your bicep head isn't long enough compared to your tricep or whatever. Your shoulders aren't round enough. Like, he would do this on a daily basis, maybe every other day. And it just got to the point over 6 months where I was just getting annoyed and pissed off all the time. I was just like, dude, you're really starting to grind my gears. I don't know how many times I have to say this. I'm a power lifter. I'm not fat. I'm not out of shape. All I care about, though, is how much I lift. I don't care necessarily what my physique looks like. Like, as long as I look decent, I'm happy. And me and this guy just constantly butted heads, and I told him, like, dude, there's no way I can ever please you. There's nothing's ever good enough for you. And so I ended up piecing out from that job, and I went and did wildland firefighting, which I'd been doing all throughout college to put myself through college. And, it just gave me a lot of time to think, because there were several fires. We were just sitting there watching stuff burn, because it would have been more dangerous for us to go into that situation than to just let it burn. So, after that, I was just like, I'm just going to give sales one more try. So, and the only thing in my area, that was truly sales oriented was car sales. So, because we have, like, I don't know, 6, maybe 7 dealerships in the area. And so I started looking around, seeing what kind of product, I could back personally, and that I could get excited about. Because I can't, sell a product I don't like to somebody. You know, I'm not that guy. I'm not fake. I don't, do fake enthusiasm or anything like that. And so, I decided on the Subaru dealership, which I like Subaru. It's a great brand. It's a good quality car. The crash ratings were good. The gas mileage was good. To me, there has to be way more upside about a vehicle than downside. Subaru has very, very little downside because the engineers and everything, like, they focus solely on how to make these cars better. They're like, let's make this the safest car possible and then make it look good. So, that being said, I drove several of these Subarus. They're amazing cars. I love them. And so I applied for the job and got it. And I did it for about 3-4 months. And then we butted heads and, just didn't see eye to eye on a bunch of stuff. And because I'm not going to pressure somebody into making a purchase that they can't financially afford. And so the way car sales is just like, okay, this just isn't for me. I don't like pressuring people into stuff. I don't like being a dick about stuff. So I went on and, and so anyway, we parted ways. We went our opposite ways. And the one thing I will say is the GM, the general manager, he did give me some good advice, because I told him, me and him had a talk after we decided to part ways, and I said I don't do well with failure or anything like that. And he's just like, well, look at it this way. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times trying to develop the light bulb, and he just went back to the drawing board each time. So there's a niche out there for you. He's like, I have faith that you will be successful, because overall my GM was a fairly, nice, down-to-earth, good guy. Like, he tried to have your best intentions at heart. But the biggest problem I had is they were very bad at telling you what you were doing wrong. They were very bad at telling you what you were doing wrong. They just tell you, keep trying, you'll get it eventually. Know the lines, because they literally gave you a script to say to customers. And like I say, I'm not going to say the dealership or anything. I don't want to say anything bad about them. Overall, they're a good company. They generally take care of their employees. But for the most part, it's just like they did lack in some areas. So after that, I made a vow. I would go find a job just so I could pay bills, but as soon as I could, I would never have a boss again. Because there's always going to be some manager, some other associate, somebody else in the company that's trying to make your life a living hell. And that has proven true at every single job I have ever had. Somebody just doesn't like you, they just, aren't helpful. One manager was actually very slanderous towards my work ethic. Like, there was literally days I was busting my ass. Like, I would literally leave work drenched in sweat because I was running all over the place. And one day he pulled me off and was like, hey, so you're not working very hard. You're not really doing your job. And I'm just like, in what world? I'm literally leaving work drenched in sweat. And so, after our conversation, I went and had a talk with a couple of the other managers, and they were like, dude, you're fine. We have zero issue with your work ethic. You're fine. We don't know what those other guys' problem or issue is, and so that was that. That was honestly the final nail in the coffin. And I was just like, I will never work for another person again. I will never have another boss. And so, like I've done before, I went out and started seeking mentors, trying to find people that would teach me how to start a business, how to make money, not just money, but good money, so I could retire at a young age and all this other fun stuff. And, you know, I found a guy he's helping me in affiliate marketing. You know, I'm starting to follow people like Kevin David, Graham Stefan, Alex Becker, and several other people on YouTube that are doing Amazon FBA and Shopify, drop shipping, and so on and so forth. And Jeff Rose, he has a step-by-step on how to create a blog and how to make money on your blog. And so, to me, I was just like, there was so much more outside, you know, brick and mortar 9-to-5 job. So, me, I'm just like, why should I have a boss? There's so many other options out here for me. So, that is what has propelled me to become an entrepreneur. That is what's propelled me to make sure I can live a life of luxury in the future. I can go take vacations when I want, where I want, with who I want. And it's just like, I can go and do. Because the biggest thing for me is I love hanging out with my friends. I have many great friends. Some are supportive, some are not, some understand it, some don't. But overall, I love all my friends to death, and I would bend over backwards for them. And one of the biggest reasons I'm trying to become an entrepreneur is if one of my friends or family is in trouble financially, I can help them out. Or if they need emotional support, I don't have to go take a day off from work to go help them. I can literally not worry about money so I can be where I need to be and supporting who I need to support during those tough times. And so, while some people might see it as a selfish venture, I'm trying to turn it into a selfless venture so I can help who I want, when I want, and so on and so forth. So, if you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, do it. You know, the stats out there are like, oh, so many businesses fail. Do your research. I've done years of research, trying to figure out what's legit, what's not, how to make money, how not to make money, what's risky, what's not risky. And now I'm just diving all in because I owe it to my friends, my family, to become successful so I can be there for them. Anyway, so subscribe, like, tell me what you think, leave a comment what you think about the Wealth Motivation channel. Also check out the Wealth Motivation blog, I'll be linking that eventually. And go to my Instagram, Wealth Motivation, or you can look me up, Bradley Hayes. Either one. And like, share, subscribe, let me know what your thoughts are. Anyway, main point, get wealthy, stay motivated, and be there for your friends and family. Have a great one, and you'll be successful, all you future entrepreneurs. Bye.